I don't feel like talking about today's game, so I'm not. If only it were that easy. Of course, I have to sit here and talk about the game, win, lose, or draw. Camera's getting out of focus. It's going to clear up for just a second. What happened, guys? I mean, seriously, what happened? Tale of two halves, a tale of three quarters and then one. After we get the first touchdown, the two-point conversion, I'm thinking the way things are going, with us fumbling, with them being, inaccurate, unable to move the ball up the field, 8-0 may be enough. Jeremy Ross does his best Mel Gray impersonation, his best Eddie Drummond impersonation, his best Desmond Howard impersonation. Runs one back, it's 14-0. I'm like, yeah, this game is over. And I mean, the rest is history. I'm not here to, tell you guys what happened. You saw the game. So I'm not going to commentate and say everything that happens blow by blow. Yeah, I'm upset right now. Of course I am. Sorry to dress up in the winter garb. I mean, that was a nasty game. And props to a guy like an Adam Vinatieri. We know the conditions weren't quite as bad in his AFC Championship game against the Raiders, but when you saw that neither team even attempted a field goal, except for ours, which was blocked. Again, Akers, Reef, whoever you want to blame, we aren't able to make field goals. We aren't able to make extra points. It was an extra point that was blocked, I should say. But when you see how much snow can affect the kicking game, we go a few years back to Adam Vinatieri and his exploits. They look all that more impressive. A lot of blame to go around, as this game was winding down. I'm preparing to talk about this game and how we lost. I was really ready to, and I don't like doing this often, to blame the referees. I don't like blaming refs because at the end of the day, you can work above and play beyond the bad calls. But, I mean, this game was rough, and I was ready to place the blame on the refs. But the Lions decided, no, we don't want to leave any doubt. We don't want to have anybody else take credit for this loss but us. Let's talk about the refs for a second, though. Deshaun Jackson, it was called a touchdown, and rightfully so. The question was whether or not he went out of bounds. Now, according to the snow and everything, the out of bounds for that scenario was the back of the green area, if that makes any sense. But Joique Bell, he was not allowed to run further and looked like score a touchdown. He was called out of bounds where the inside edge of the green area was considered out of bounds, inconsistent. We know the horrible roughing the passer, unsportsmanlike conduct play on Nick Fairley should not have been called. Yes, and Ndamukong Suh being held wasn't called. He got called for defensive holding. They get the two-point conversion. I mean, the referees definitely did not do us any favors this game, but our defense went ahead and decided to just, I don't know, be horrible. Joique Bell had some costly fumbles. I know it was in snow, but none of the Philadelphia Eagles running backs looked that bad. None of them fumbled the ball. Props to Chip Kelly and this team. They made the adjustments where they had to. Totally different team. We've seen the Lions do this time in and time out. This time, it got done on us. Chip Kelly outcoached Jim Schwartz. It's plain and simple. I don't know what got into LaShawn McCoy, but in this whole game, I'm thinking, with him being shifty and the defense being slippery, the offense should be at an advantage, in my opinion, and it showed. He's shifty, the defense is slippery, and he just broke wild. And there you have it. I mean, this is a disappointing loss, if there ever was one. What can we do? We're looking at the scope of things now. The Packers won the game. We have to be the biggest Tony Romo Dallas Cowboy fans for the next several weeks. They face the Bears tomorrow. We need them to win that game. They're going to be playing the Packers. We need them to win. Now Aaron Rodgers is going to be back. We may have to win the next three because if Aaron Rodgers and company wins out, they're 9-6-1. That means we would have to go 10-6 in order to win this division. I think we can. I think it's a good shot that we could win the next three games. 9-7 may still get us in, but you just want to win all three now. This was a weird game. It's hard to place blame on drop passes and interceptions and turnovers. We didn't have any interceptions, but it's hard to place blame on drop passes and fumbles when the snow was like it was. But when we're a team that is riddled with drop passes and riddled with fumbles, and the other team didn't really seem to let the snow affect them turn the ball over, Yeah, a lot had to do with the snow. A lot had to do with the fact that the Lions just can't take care of the ball. Shining star, bright spot, of course, is Jeremy Ross. He looked great. He did things on the field that I think will translate over when there's regular conditions, where there's turf, where there's grass, and not a mountain of snow, 6 to 8 inches, etc., etc. Chip Kelly was brave. He threw more deep balls toward the end, and it seemed to work. My thought is, if you throw a couple deep balls to Calvin, I mean, he caught one big one. The chances of him outrunning a receiver or a defender is great. A chance of a defender slipping because they're backpedaling and they're turning into their run, whereas Calvin's running straight. Chance of that happening is good. But I just don't like the play calling of today's game. I know the snow was there, but a little more urgency. And there it is. I really am not in the mood. And I joked about not wanting to talk about it, but I'm serious. This is a tough loss. We'll regroup. We'll come back in a couple of days, and especially after Monday Night Football, we'll have a better idea of where we stand in terms of the division. But, we've got a big game coming up against the Baltimore Ravens. It's going to be on Monday Night Football. We got to show what we're worth. I'm mad. I don't know if it's showing, dejected, all those things. I'll be back in a couple of days. Leave your thoughts. A lot of heat was given to Jim Schwartz on Private Trade. I want you guys' opinion on that. Where are you placing the blame? I mean, there's a lot to go around. I'm going to give it to the linebackers and the defensive line. Ultimately, a guy runs for 200 yards. I don't care what the conditions are. We have to make tackles. So that's it. I'm out of here. Time to go away and hide from football for a few days until I come back here. Until, obviously, I watch Monday Night Football. So until next time, don't forget to subscribe. If this is your first time watching, I am normally not in a dark room. I normally don't have on winter garb. And I'm normally not this dejected. But, I mean, it was a special game. And so it's brought out the worst or best, however you view that in me. All right, guys, we're out of here. Jerry Mallory signing out.